All right, first off, I want to give all praises to Yahweh, by Hashem, Yahushai, by Hashem Rakakodash, the Wadiel by Hashem Yahushai for allowing me to do another video through Spirit, the Wadiel by Hashem Yahushai for giving us his truth as worms. Double honors to our apostle and elders at Great Millstone, and salutation and blessings to the elect. I just want to do a video on this topic real quick with Iran and Israel, and I believe Israel just strike back on Iran for the airstrike they did, which this guy breaks it down. I watched this video, the brother sent it in the group chat, how Iran wasn't really trying to go into a full-blown conflict with them yet, but he wanted to show that they can touch them. And he goes into that, and he basically Iran made the Iron Dome and all the missile defense systems that majority of countries that are allied with the U.S. use look like a joke, which is good. And the topic of today is going to be World War III is going to happen. It's going to. It's not a maybe. It's not an if. It's not well, maybe they won't go through with it. World War III will happen, and it will go nuclear. It will, 100%. There's no doubt about it. It's biblical. And I'm going to put the link of this in the description box. Matter of fact, let me even just copy that link right now. It's going to happen, and it will go nuclear because it's prophesied to go nuclear. It's prophesied for it to happen. So that's what we're going to get into today. And the least of the flock is going to draw out the U.S. and all these other nations to get involved. And who is the least of the flock? The nation of the state of Israel. Not the nation of Israel, the state of Israel over there in the land of Israel, who are not the Lord's chosen people. Those are not God's chosen people. They're not. Those are converts. They're the 1948ers. They with the Balfour Declaration, they are not the Lord's people. But this is Revelation 9, and they're not the people of the Bible. The children of Israel are the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. It says Revelation 9 and verse 12, one woe is past, and behold, there come two woes more hereafter, which the first woe is World War One, and the second two woes is World War II and World War III, which the Bible goes into this in the Revelations 9th chapter, which you can watch the apostles break down on that. I'm just jump to the next one. This is Revelation 11 and verse 14. The second woe is past, and behold, the third woe cometh quickly. So World War II happened. And then after World War II, what did you have? The Cold War era, which it was a Cold War and just didn't get hot. And we're living in that time where that Cold War is going to eventually get hot. This is I'm gonna jump to the book of Ezekiel. This is Ezekiel 39. 38. In verse 1. And the word of the Lord came unto me, saying, Son of man, set thy face against Gog, the land of Magog, the chief prince of Meshech and Tubal, and prophesied against him. And this is speaking about the land of Russia, because Russia will be involved with Iran. They are going to be allies. They will be allied together. They will be. These are the prophecies. Iran is ancient world Persia. It was changed, I believe, in 1946. Let's just Google it real quick. It's a quick Google. When did Iran? 1935. I'm sorry. It was on the Persian New Year of 2021, March 1935. Yep. It was changed. That Reza Shah announced that he was formally changing his country's name from Persia to Iran. Persia, he felt, was to colonial or oriental and the mold. So he changed the name. So we're about to actually, damn, I just lost it. That's all good. But get it before the end of this video. So let's keep going into this. This is verse 3 and saying, verse 4. And I will turn thee back. Turn thee back to what? To when Russia was in that Cold War spear, but the Lord's going to turn them up because Russia wanted that smoke with the U.S. It just wasn't that time. And put hooks in their jaws, and I will bring thee forth, and thy armies, and all thy armies, horses and horsemen, all of them clothed with sorts of armor, even a great company with bucklers and shields, all of them handling swords. Now, and this is just talking about modern day, the tanks, your Humvees, your guns, your helicopters, all that. Persia, which is Iran, Ethiopia, Libya, with them, all of them, with shields and helmets. Gomar and all his bands, the house of Togomar of the north quarter, and all his bands, and many people with thee, and be thou prepared, and prepare for thyself, thou and all thy companies that are assembled unto thee, and be thou a guard unto them. Because Russia is a big brother of Iran. When it really starts going, and if the U.S. gets involved, you best believe, not even if, just when. It's really a matter of when. It's not ifs or buts. It's a matter of when. When will they get involved? When will Russia get involved? When will all these nations be gathered together? It's just a matter of when. It's not if. It's when. Because it's going to happen. Why? Because it was prophesied to happen. The reason all these things are happening now is because it was prophesied. That's why the Euphrates is drying up. Because it was prophesied to happen. The Lord prophesied these things from the days that were before thee, even till now. Let me get that. It's 2 Ezra 9 and verse 1. He answered me then and said, measure thou the time diligently in itself, and when thou seest part of the signs pass, which I have told thee before, then shalt thou understand that it is the very same time wherein the highest will begin to visit the world which he made. Therefore, when there shall be seen earthquakes and uproars of the people in the world, then shalt thou well understand that the Most High spake of these things from the days that were before thee, even from the beginning. So these things in this time that we're living in has always been spoken about. That's why the prophets, just like our apostle Tar says, our apostles say, the prophets did not understand what they were seeing. They didn't. They just wrote down the visions and what the Lord told them to say. They didn't understand that. John did not understand no nuclear missiles, man. He didn't. He didn't have the term. We have the term now. Ezekiel didn't know that was talking about modern day Russia. He didn't. But now we have it. We have that understanding through Yahushua and through the books and the seals being open and the Lord unveiling that knowledge unto us in these last days. They didn't know. They didn't know. They wrote down what they saw and what the Spirit of the Lord put upon them to write down. It's just that simple. But now we have the understanding. We have the understanding of all those things that were written back then. And some were twofold and some were mainly for this time, for the times we're living in now. So like Jeremiah 50, that was for here. The daughter of Babylon, that's here. That's America. Revelation. A lot of Revelation was talking about here. The woman that he saw, the dragon, NATO and EU. He didn't know what they were fucking talking about. It's talking about here. We're dealing with the things that are now. That ancient Roman Empire being established in these modern times. So yeah, this World War III is going to happen. It's going to happen because it's written. It was written back then so it can happen in these times to show the power and the force of Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai, to show that He is true, that He is above all gods, that He controls what goes on in this realm. This is Isaiah 55 and verse 11. So my word that goes forth out of my mouth, who is the mouth of the Lord? His prophets. And it shall not return unto me void, but it shall accomplish that which I please, and it shall prosper in the things whereto I sent it. So these things will prosper. These nations will go to war. They're already in war now. I'm saying it will continue to increase. Lord willing, these be the days and times where these prophecies continue to increase, and we're in them. But these things will happen. They will happen, and we gotta be in them times, man. We gotta be. We have to be, because the prophecies are just pinging off left to right. So we gotta be in those days and times. But this will happen. These wars and these rumors of wars, they will continue to increase. They will continue to increase. Look at this. There's another video that says the nuclear dimensions. Yeah, dimensions. And these wars at the end of it all, because the U.S. is of course going to get involved, will all turn against the U.S. It will go nuclear against this place. It will. That's why all these shows and all these movies are showing what nuclear destruction, nuclear waste. You have this new show from the video game Fallout that's out. They didn't make this for no reason. They didn't make this for no reason. They know that this bitch is going to go nuclear. It's going to go nuclear. Yeah, I should get that. This is Revelations. I'm gonna close with this. This is Revelations 9 and verse 9 and verse 13. And the sixth angel sound, and I heard a voice from the four horns of the golden altar, which is before Yahweh, saying to the sixth angel which had the trumpet, loose the four angels which are bound in the great river Euphrates. And the four angels were loose, and which were prepared for an hour and a day and a month and a year, for to slay the third part of men, which is who? Esau, Edom. And this isn't literally, this is not talking about the Anunnaki or Nephilims. They're about to rise about the river Euphrates. It's not talking about that. It's not. Because Christians will say that. It's not. This is talking about the river Euphrates drying up and preparing for World War III, and which ultimately going to lead to the nuclear missiles being shot off as we keep going, which is going to lead to the third part of men being slain, which is Esau, Edom, and his kingdom Babylon. Now, will there be Edomites left on the planet? Yes. After nuclear destruction, yes. The ones that flee, but the main hub of Esau, Edom, their capital, will be completely destroyed. Idumea, like it says in Isaiah 34. So let's keep going. And the number of the army of the horsemen were 200,000, and I heard the number of them. And thus I saw the horses, which these are talking about the nukes, the 200,000, just 200 million, because you don't know how many warheads are in you don't know how many nukes are in one warhead. I believe they can carry multiple nukes in one warhead. So that's why he's seen so many. He heard so many. And then he's going to explain what he saw. He heard it and saw it. And thus I saw the horses in the vision. So now he's seeing them. And them that sat on them. Now, was there really people sitting on them? No. This is what he's describing. He's describing it with the things that he had, with the words he had back then. And having breastplates of fire and of jacinth and brimstone, and the heads of the horses were like the heads of lions, and out of their mouth issue fire and smoke and brimstone. Because what carries the propel system is just propelling that nuclear warhead until it reaches its mark. And by these three was the third part of men killed, by the fire and by the smoke and by the brimstone which issue out of their mouths, for their power is in their mouth and in their tail, because it pushes it, it moves it. Because I'm literally seeing it in my head. If you're looking at a nuke or imagining this, it has a propel system. It's pushing it. The fire's coming out of the back, and it's pushing the rest of that nuke or arrow, because that's what they described it back then too, as an arrow, is moving it forward until it reaches the mark, and it breaks off, and then what? That warhead starts falling. That's why sometimes it describes as figs falling off a tree. And by the brims, wait. Verse 19, for their power is in their mouth and in their tail, for their tails were like unto serpents and had heads, and with them they do hurt. So this is speaking about the nuclear missiles, and it will go nuclear. World War III, which are probably, they might announce it. They might say, yeah, we're in World War III. They might do that. But if they don't, we know that they don't announce. Usually they don't announce a world war until it's after. But even the nigga who made the nukes, he said, Albert Einstein, he said, I don't know how. I'll pull it up. Let me get his quote. Albert Einstein. Yep. This is Albert Einstein's quote. It says, I know not what weapons World War III will be fought, but World War IV will be fought with sticks and stones. And look at that show Fallout. They ain't using nothing. I mean, they were hyper advanced, but even then, they're fighting with old tech, and they're even in their world. So we know he even said it. He said, "Man, I know not what weapons World War III will be fought." He said, "I don't know what weapons they're gonna use, but I know World War IV is gonna be fought with sticks and stones." Telling you that they're gonna use nuclear technology. They're gonna use it. People think that, it's not gonna go nuclear. That's just world ending. Yes, yes, it is, and it will, because it's prophesied it. It's prophesied it to happen. World War III will go nuclear. Yes. And it will happen. So that's it, man. All praise be to Yahweh, by Shem Yahweh Shai, by Shem Rakak Kodash. And with that, shalom.